Okay, so this is the space. It's a very cool place.
Yeah, so
I like the fact that the ceilings are so high.
Yeah, so yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome to Crossroads. So that's what we were talking about actually.
And it's like a crossroad of different civilizations.
Yeah, actually, the idea was that once you enter the place, so you appear right in the like in front of the crossroads. So where like if you go right, you'll go to the Asian part.
Right.
So this part is the African part, as you can see from the paintings on the walls.
Right.
And
first, we're going through Africa, as far as I can
now
tell.
we're going through Africa, and we'll pass Middle East and go to Armenia.
Okay, so we're traversing the world.
Yeah.
So who did all the artwork? You did?
Yeah, actually, the idea of the whole place was to the idea came from me and my friends that we wanted to set up a place which will not be similar to any other place. So we came up with this idea, and we. All the work was done by me with help of my friends who
So you did the whole thing all by yourself?
Yeah, actually,
all of this stuff
it
here?
was like. Basically, it was just 4 concrete walls, and we just transformed it to what it is now.
It's a very sorry for the expression, cool space to be in because of the high ceilings, and I love the Armenian corner here too.
It's very spacious, unlike the other places you go in. Yeah, because they're all.
Not that I go to them often, but the ones I have seen.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So Crossroads, and it's. And you're open every night, I'm assuming, and you have your own crowd of friends coming and hanging out here together. Yeah,
basically we're open we open up every evening and until midnight and even more sometimes. So yeah.
Well, interestingly, the first time I heard about you, Armen, or became familiarized with you, to say, is your wife. You've just recently been married for about 6 months now. Yeah. Your wife had posted a short documentary on her Facebook page that came up on my newsfeed, and I thought, I don't usually watch them, I don't have time, but somehow this interested me. And and I think she had written, this is a film by my husband about his mother. And because I have a son and I love boys who love their mothers, I thought, oh, I'm going to watch this film. So I started watching it, and I must say that it was beautifully shot. And I would recommend that all of our viewers watch it, because as I was looking at it on the screen, I could almost smell the paint. I mean, that's how vivid it was for me. And just watching your mother create her artwork, and for me it was also very touching because it reminded me of my mother's hands working away. You know, my mother isn't an artist, you know, but when she was making her Armenian dishes and stuff, so it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
I'd love to talk about that, why you decided to do it.
Thanks very much for the comments. I'm really excited to see that the video done by non-professional impressed people, and I get interesting feedback. So, the idea goes back actually to quite a while when British Armenian person and me came up with the idea of setting up an organization here in Armenia, a charitable organization, and started implementing projects in Armenia and doing a lot of projects with children from rural areas and poor families, and also we worked a lot with orphanages.
And what's the name of the organization?
It's called Aid Armenia.
Aid
Armenia International. Yeah, it's set up in London, and the branch is in Armenia. We do have a lot of activities. We employ about 20 people at the moment around Armenia who teach.
And it's primarily working with children from vulnerable families?
They work with children, and they teach children arts and painting. It can be dancing. It can be. These classes are free of charge, so we're basically paying the teachers and the venues.
Right. So how does that factor in with the movie you made about your mom?
So one of our projects was to set up a small film studio, like a documentary studio, and we started shooting films small documentaries about Armenia and the social life and about different people.
8 minutes of Armenia.
8 minutes of Armenia,
That's
exactly.
Part of Armenia?
That's one of the films that we created, and surprisingly, it was not one of the best films that we thought we had.
Okay.
But it was quite surprising to see that in 1 week we had about 40,000 views in Vimeo. And yesterday, when I was looking through the videos again, and I just noticed that a lot of people copied the video and shared.
I've seen it different places.
Yeah,
I've seen that video.
A lot of channels. Yeah, a lot of channels. I realized that, like, I saw on YouTube that a lot of channels shared the video from their own channels. And the videos had still like thousands of views, 10,000s of views, and it's really nice to see that people like the video. And actually, that was designed to be just one of the series of 8 minutes of Armenia, because that one was shot basically in Yerevan to show the the idea is to make the videos 8 minutes of Armenia. It can be in a rural area, it can be in a village near the border, it can be in a small town. So yes, that was the idea. And the film about my mother, I was actually thinking to produce something about artists as well, and I was just thinking who to shoot, and
then you have your mother.
And then I said, yeah, like, why am I thinking too much? So.
And your mother's name?
She's Armen Anmeghikyan.
Armen Anmeghikyan, and she's originally from Gyumri. You were born in Gyumri.
Yes, I was born in Gyumri, and at the age of 16, I moved to Yerevan to study at the university. And about a year later, I realized that this is the city I want to stay and live.
And your family was in Gyumri?
My family is still in Gyumri, and I live here.
I also believe that when the 1988 earthquake took place, you were in Gyumri. You were just how old then?
I was, like I was 3 years old.
And you remember?
There is hardly anything I can remember. Mostly stories told by my parents and relatives. But when the earthquake struck, I was actually in the kindergarten.
Okay.
And I don't remember this. This was told by my mom. And
you have no recollection?
Not really, no.
I mean, something that I guess it was.
I think I don't know. I can't really say that I remember certain things. Maybe some moments or some vague things, but not some concrete events. You know. When the earthquake struck, my mom was the first to get to the kindergarten to see where am I. And when I ran to my mom, I said, "Mom, you know these stupid people turned on the earthquake."
I mean, it's funny now, but at the time...
like at 3 years old, I had no idea what earthquake is. I just heard that earthquake, so I thought that like these bad people, they turned it on.
Armen, there's so many different facets to your life that we could talk for hours. So I was introduced to you through your film about your mother. You're involved with an organization called Aid Armenia that helps children across the country. You also work now for the British Council as a project coordinator.
Yes, I started working with the British Council about 4 months ago. So it's a project about concerning disabilities. It's a regional project. It will be the same project will be done in the same 6 countries at the same time, and everything will be coordinated from Armenia. So since I was doing projects with disabled people with Aid Armenia too, I found the project very interesting, and it will be very interesting for me, and it will be, I have the experience too. If you look at the former Soviet Union countries, like the attitude is more or less the same in pretty much all the countries.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take Russia, take Georgia, take even Eastern European countries. It's pretty much the same with a little bit more. Like some countries are a bit more advanced.
Some
some are But I could see the change. It's slow, but I can see the difference already. What I think really helps is that when people get to travel more and more, and from their experiences in other countries, when they come back, they have completely different attitudes towards disabled people.
I heard that you travel a lot too. You've been to different countries.
Yeah,
how does that happen?
yeah.
How come I can't do that?
Yeah, indeed, I get to travel quite a lot, and the main reason why I travel a lot is because I love traveling. Yeah. And I always tend to say that if there is a will, there is a way.
You're right.
Yeah, yeah. We were actually thinking about where to go on for a honeymoon, and she didn't have any idea where we're going, because I organized all the trip for her.
Oh, you surprised her.
And I told
you're
her,
such a good husband.
I told her that we're going to Georgia for our honeymoon. And I bought the tickets from Georgia to Spain, yeah. And so we went to Georgia, and I said, you know, we're meeting some friends at the airport, and so from the airport we're going to go to their place, so that's where we're going to stay.
So she seriously had no idea?
She had no idea where we're going, so we went to the airport, and I saw that the registration started, and I said, you know, I see that there is a plane going to Spain. What if we try to get into that plane?
Oh,
and
she
she's
must
like,
have freaked out.
And she's like, okay, you're crazy. I said, no, let's give it a try. And I went to the registration, and I gave the passport, and they checked, and okay, these are your passport, and these are your boarding passes. So she's looking at me in a strange way, and she has no idea, still has no idea what's going on. Wow. So we go to the passport control. The officer asks me, so which is your final destination? I say Barcelona, and I turn to her, and she immediately burst into tears. Aww. Because only then she realized that we're going to Barcelona. And on the way back, after Barcelona, we went to Prague, and from Prague we had to fly back to Georgia.
Right, and then you drove. And then drive to Yerevan.
Yeah, we go to the airport, and then on the timetable I see it says Tbilisi through Baku, and you had via Baku, and I'm like, okay, there must be another flight, I guess. So I look through the schedule, the timetable again, and there is no other flight going to Tbilisi. And I go to the counter and I say, excuse me, but I don't think that's the best idea for us, because we can't enter Azerbaijan. And she's like, oh, don't worry, you're going to be in the airplane.
But you didn't need to disembark. You would stay on the plane.
You will just stay on the plane. And the funniest thing, she says that, you know, your safety is guaranteed in the airplane. And once we get to the airport, we see that there are there are only three female assistants, the flight assistants.
Right, the rest are all
and the rest are gone. And how will they guarantee our safety in the airplane? That was the scariest part of our honeymoon, but also now when we look back, one of the most adventurous part.
For me, it's a shame that we have to feel this way.
For me too, because I have some good friends from Azerbaijan who share the same feeling as I do. Yeah. But that's the reality that we have to cope up with. There is also a youth organization that I work at, and
do you have time to go home? Do you go home?
Believe me, I do.
Is your wife happy?
I'm quite multitasking by nature, and so I love to work on different things at the same time. So the youth organization, how I came up with the youth organization, I set up the youth organization myself, and so how it happened is that once I went to a youth exchange in Poland, I think, yeah.
You can't even remember.
Yeah, because you will see a bit later why I can't remember. Is that so there was a youth exchange in Poland that I went, and
How old were you?
I was about 22, I guess. Okay. 22, yeah. I really loved the project and the principle, which was completely new to me. Mm-hmm. It was all based in non-formal education. Right. It was completely, that was a completely new world for me. And I found myself in a very comfortable place there, and I said I thought that I would be enjoying doing this myself as well. And I came back and set up the youth organization. It's International Center of Youth Development and Integration. Oh, okay. It's quite a long name, but so it's basically a platform for young people to express themselves, and we basically help them to integrate into society with the help of the projects that we do abroad in Armenia.
Very good.
That was basically, since most of the projects were in other countries, were abroad, so I had the chance to travel quite often and quite a lot. Yeah.
Oh, and hence your English is impeccable too, and that comes from the traveling, from your education?
I have a linguistic background, right. So I finished the linguistic university, so but most of the knowledge comes from traveling, and also because of the fact that Ada Armenia is based in London, so I get to travel to London quite often. And,
I always like to ask this question, particularly of young people in Armenia. You know, you're cutting your own mold, you're doing your own thing, and understanding that Armenia is a developing country and it's facing many, you know, we keep talking about challenges, but you know, we come across it every day just by living in Armenia. How do you see the future? How do you see your future? You have this fantastic place here that's it's a place you created to come together with your friends, and you're doing a whole bunch of different projects. Is it sustainable for you for the future?
I've always had the opportunity to move abroad and develop my future there, but there has never been any second that I saw myself in another country rather than Armenia. Whatever happens, I'm quite sure that I will stay here in Armenia, because people like me and my friends are the ones that can make the change. That have the courage.
Yeah, exactly.
That have the courage to stand for their rights and for their beliefs. If you and me leave, and then there will be some people who will always tend to be governed and to be told what to do, and that will not really help us to build up the future that we want to see in Armenia.
Well, even though it's tea, I'd like to say cheers to that. Well,
although I'm quite realistic in life, I'm quite optimistic concerning this, because I really believe in that.
Well, Armen, I hope you continue spreading your energy, because it's fantastic and it's so promising and so inspirational to see young men like you who want to stay, who believe that by staying they can make this country a place where we're all going to be happy to live.
Yeah.
So, and I think you have to run to work now.
Yeah, actually I'm a little bit late for work already, but I think it's not too bad. No, it's okay.
Okay, thanks very much for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you too. It was
Good luck with all of your adventures and ventures, and I hope you keep changing lives for people everywhere.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the conversation.
Thanks.
Yeah.